cover story tonight is from Ukraine, the Ukrainian city of Kherson to be precise. In March this year, the city came under Russian occupation. 8 months on, Russia has decided to end the occupation. As I speak, Russian troops are in the process of withdrawing from Kherson. But why? Because they have been ordered to. The Russian commander in Ukraine has asked all troops to retreat. He says it is no longer possible to keep supplying the city. Listen to this.
The Russian armed forces continue their special military operation. Russian troops are conducting maneuvers to prepared positions on the left bank of the Dnipro River in strict accordance with the approved plan.
Now, this may just be one of Russia's biggest retreats in the war, and a humiliating one at that. There is no other way for Moscow to depict this withdrawal as anything other than an embarrassing setback. And here is why I say this. Kherson is one of Ukraine's most strategic port cities. It is home to a major shipbuilding industry, besides being a regional economic center. When Russia captured it, it called the annexation a step towards liberating Kherson. It said the city would remain Russian territory forever. In fact, back in April, Russia's puppet government in Kherson had stated that Kherson would switch to Russian currency. It also said, and I'm quoting, reintegrating the Kherson region back into a Nazi Ukraine is out of the question. And this was in April. In the month of June, Russian FSB officials moved into apartments that were vacated by fleeing Ukrainian citizens. And the same month, Russia opened banks in Kherson, further signaling the region was theirs to run. 4 months on, the same Russia is withdrawing its troops. What explains this? It's hard to tell, but an easy answer could be the Ukrainian counter-offensive. In the last couple of weeks, Ukraine has made significant advances. It has driven back Russian forces and recaptured several cities like Izium and Kupiansk, to name a few. In recent days, they were also spotted advancing towards Kherson. In fact, around the time Russia announced its withdrawal, this video emerged. It showed Ukrainian soldiers on a highway just 30 kilometers northwest from Kherson. A soldier in the video can be seen holding a Ukrainian flag. He goes on to say that his brigade had broken Russia's line of defense and was advancing towards Kherson.
Dear Ukrainians, we are advancing in the direction of Kherson. Glory to Ukraine. The 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade, the first defense line of the enemy, is already ours. Glory to Ukraine.
Now, here's the thing. The Russian withdrawal may be good news for the Ukrainians, but there are still several reasons for them to be cautious. First of all, there is a high possibility that retreating Russian forces may have most likely left behind traps for Ukrainians. Secondly, now that Russia is withdrawing its troops from Kherson, now that its forces will no longer be stationed in the city, it will be more tempted to bombard Kherson at will. Ukrainian officials are aware of this and they are reacting with skepticism. This is what an advisor to the Ukrainian president recently said. Actions speak louder than words. We see no signs that Russia is leaving Kherson without a fight. Meaning Russia's announcement should be taken with a heap of salt. For all you know, this announcement could be aimed at inflicting more damage on the Ukrainian forces. Now, these are all possibilities, but the fact of the matter is that Russia is pulling back, whatever be its intentions. On the face of it, the decision makes Moscow look weak, and the world is reacting along the same lines. Take Joe Biden, for instance. The American president recently said that Russia's withdrawal from Kherson shows that the Russian military is facing some real problems. Listen in.
First of all, I found it interesting they waited till after the election to make that judgment, and which we knew for some time that they were going to be doing. And it's evidence of the fact that they have some real problems, the Russian military, number one. Number two, Whether or not that leads to, at a minimum, it will lead to time for everyone to recalibrate their positions over the winter period.
Now, America is trying its best to sell it as an embarrassment, and the actions of the Russian president are not helping. Vladimir Putin has decided to not attend the G20 summit. It is scheduled to be held in Indonesia next week, and Putin is not going. There is no word either on whether he will be joining the summit virtually. Now, what explains this? Is he trying to avoid being confronted or shunned by world leaders? Or is Russia too embarrassed with its retreat from Kherson? It's hard to tell, but Putin's decision to not be there, especially after this retreat from Kherson, will only add to the growing claims that Russia is on a weak footing. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.